お前のさなは俺が決める. Hey guys, KRX50 here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the Henshin Belt Deluxe Meteor Driver from Kamen Rider Force. This is the belt used by Kamen Rider Meteor to transform and activate Astro Switches to perform limit breaks. This includes a few things: the Meteor Driver, belt parts, and one Astro Switch. So, taking a look at the Meteor Driver first and detaching the belt parts. For anyone wondering why I had the belt parts attached to start, that's because when the belt parts are not attached and a switch is not inserted into the Meteor Driver, it's rather back heavy. So unless it's laying against something, it does have a tendency to fall over. So here it is. It is molded in gunmetal gray plastic with several different colors of paint. We've got some silver, some gold, some metallic blue, a little bit of metallic red, and chrome gold. See this part over here, some ridges. Here's the Meteor Driver's entry lever, which is metallic blue, with some kind of notches sticking out of it. Goes down, pushes down like that. You have the switch socket over here, which has some gold paint on it as well as a circle socket switch, a circle switch socket. Have this part, this silver part here, which is the energy receiver, from which Meteor receives its transformation energy from the M-Bus satellite, or the M-Bus, or the Meteor backup satellite. Here's the weighting trigger, which is what helps to activate the transformation. And in the center is the Celestial Drive Unit, which is this big black orb with several different sized indents and holes, several of them of which light comes out from. It free spins in both directions, and also it has these several notches that go all the way around. Now, design-wise, I'm just gonna address the popular opinion that the Meteor Driver is designed after a disco ball. That is completely and utterly false. This is actually a design that is fitting of Kamen Rider Meteor. What's designed after is called a celestial globe, which is similar to a globe of the Earth, but instead of showing the places on the Earth, it shows the positions of stars relative to the Earth. It also has elements of a star projector, which is meant to, project light out and show the positions of stars in the sky relative to each other. And this is fitting for Kamen Rider Meteor, who is kind of themed after space itself, or at least the Milky Way galaxy. So there's that. I mean, this whole thing is basically designed after a celestial globe, which is nice. That's a thing designed for Meteor, as the Force Driver was also a thing for Force, as it was designed after the control panel on a spaceship. So we also got the bomb detailing here, speaker here, nice silver. Have this silver tube right here. There's also this translucent window, this clear plastic window here. And on the back, have the details back here, the battery cover. Like the Forza Driver, this takes 3 AAA batteries. There's copyright information here. The places where the belt part goes in, the belt parts go into as well. And just repositioning this like so. Let's look at the belt parts. Just gonna take them apart. versus the left belt piece. This has its own unique design to it. And all these little bumps here. It's got the pegs for different size adjustments. The connectors has these two buttons to push in, to attach or detach. And these kind of lines here. Here's the back detailing. More lines, a little bit of text, a little bit of texturing. Here's the right belt part. It has a different design with more of these circles going outwards. A little bit of bumps here. More unique details on the back. And these do have a molded in L and R to indicate which piece goes where. Then we have the belt stopper, the belt backing piece. This is not an original part. This is actually the same belt backing piece as the birth driver from Kamen Rider O's, as it has birth's Gashapon capsule symbol right here. But it is molded in the same gunmetal gray plastic as the belt parts and the belt itself. And since it's just one piece, it's not too bad. Next we have the switch. This is the Meteor switch. Kamen Rider Meteor's his personal switch and currently his only switch. So this is a circle switch. And once again we have a unique color. This one is translucent blue. Now it's quite a dark blue, so you know how well the blue comes across on camera. Well, it kind of just depends on the different conditions. Also embedded into it is a bunch of silver glitter. This gives off the effect of stars on a night sky, as can be seen there, and it's a nice effect. We've got the sticker here which has Kamen Rider Meteor's symbol instead of a number, as this is Meteor switch and not a Forza switch. We have the switch, the switch mechanism right here, which is kind of also like a celestial globe, but with the different rings to turn it and such. To activate it, you slide it this way, and another cool detail is that when you do so, it has this part that looks like a meteor tail. So when turned on, this part looks like a streaking meteor. So that's pretty cool. Since it is an Astro switch, it does work in the Forza Driver. So shortcutting the transformation. Removing Rocket and putting in Meteor. Then switching it on. So that had the sound of a crashing meteor, though that was actually a repurposed version of the limit break sound on Meteor Driver, but not quite as booming. Kind of more mono to it than kind of booming stereo, as can be proven by doing the limit break. So there's that, and you'll also notice that the voice for the Meteor Driver is different from something like, say, the Launcher Switch. That's because it does not recognize the Meteor Switch as one of Forza's module switches, one of Forza's regular Astro switches, but as a rider switch, or a switch representing a Kamen Rider itself. So, in that sense, it's a unique switch. Not just in design, but also in sound. Now, I'm going to leave a switch out of here, and I'll get to that later. Another unique thing is that the color for the shape ring is not a variation of the switch color. It's not a blue paint of any kind. Instead, it is a gold paint, but a different gold than the one used on here. Instead, it's the same gold color that's used on the Meteor Driver itself. So that's pretty cool. So getting on to the sounds, the on-off switch is down here, and switching it on. Get that sound. When you spin it just like this, get that sound. You also spin it fast like that. So there's that. So from here we can plug in the Meteor switch, and when I do, you'll notice that it has a different way of recognizing the switch than the Forza driver does. Instead of announcing the switch's name, it changes the colors of the lights from white to blue. So then we can start off the transformation. To that, you start by pulling the weighting trigger all the way until it clicks into place. Then press down on the enter lever, like so. And so that's Meteor's transformation sequence. So it has its own unique music, both as a standby music and as the actual transformation music. Now to give you a better listening, to get a better hear of the sounds, I'm just going to turn this way and actually stop it from spinning while doing the transformation. So you can do that. From here we can switch on the Meteor switch like so.
Meteor on, ready?
A different angle.
Meteor on, ready?
Then you manually spin it like so.
Meteor, limit break.
And that activates Meteor's limit break, the Meteor Strike, which is his rider kick. You can also do a variation of it called the Meteor Tornado, which is a spin kick. And you can actually repeat that just by spinning it once again.
Meteor, limit break.
Now, the reason why you can't just pull this all the way back and use the enter lever to release is because of this.
Meteor, ready?
Whenever you do that, it automatically activates the transformation sequence. It's just switching it off. Even with it switched out, you can do the transformation sequence.
Meteor, ready?
However, there is a way to use the weighting trigger to activate the limit break.
Meteor on, ready?
Just pull it back almost all the way.
Meteor, limit break.
So that lets you use the winder there. Another thing is that this has to be spun continuously until it at least goes 5 times in a row,
Meteor, limit break.
as shown here. So switching it off. The Meteor switch is not the only switch that works with the Meteor Driver. Switching it out. Next switch we'll look at is number 10, the elect switch. So, just revisiting this and plugging it in like so. As you can see, it does recognize the elect switch, since the lights changed from white to yellow. Now switching on.
Image on. Ready?
So that activates a special limit break sound for the elect switch. And while it hasn't been shown if this is going to appear in the show, magazine scans have shown Meteor using the elect switch, so it's possible that this could happen. But since it hasn't, this attack has no name as of yet. So, now we've seen the elect switch. Next up is number 20, the fire switch. Plugging that in like so. Then switching it on.
Fire on. Ready? Fire. Let us break.
Let's do that again. Instead of going through yellow, green, blue like the elect switch does, the fire switch goes through red, orange, and purple. Though for orange and purple, it actually mixes together the red and yellow light for orange and the pink and blue lights for purple. However, you can get a better look at the lights like this. So there's that. And the last switch we're going to take a look at in the Meteor Driver is the rocket switch. Just plugging this in like so. You'll notice that the color didn't change. And here's why.
Switch on. Ready?
For any switch besides the Meteor, Elect, or Fire switch, the Meteor Driver does not specifically recognize it, and it makes a generic sound for all of them. So it doesn't have to be the rocket switch that makes this sound. It could be any other switch besides these three.
Switch on. Ready?
Also of note is that there's no limit break sound, just an attack sound. And that's the extent of the Meteor Driver. So, let's now plug this back in and wrap up this review. Though before that, I'm just going to detail one more thing about the set, which is a special first release bonus, which is a Gunva Ride Start Pack that includes 3 cards: Kamen Rider Forza Base State, Kamen Rider Forza Elect State, and Kamen Rider Forza Fire State. So, here's Base State. Has Forza Base State against a space background. It says official event, has symbols for rocket and drill. Has the name there. The attack, which is Force and Module Drive, with 2000 damage. Not going to read off all the different attack stats. And you got attack 350, defense 400, speed 550. On the back, see it has bonuses for both the rocket and drill switches. Next is Elect State, which has Forza Elect State in the same space as background, with lightning coming from its body. Still has Forza Module Drive. Has the symbols for Elect and Beat. Attack 4000, attack 400, defense 400, speed 550. Forza Module Drive here also does 2000 damage. Gets the bonuses from Elect and Beat switches. We have Fire State. Once again, same space background with fire around him. Has symbols for chainsaw and drill. Forza Module Drive, this one doing 2100. Does attack 450, defense 400, speed 500. Chainsaw and drill automatically turned on. So this creates something weird between the Elect State and the Fire State card. Because apparently, the Elect State card gets bonuses for the Elect and Beat switch. And, yeah, okay, I apologize for my cat. Hold on, let me take care of that. My apologies. Getting back to that. So as I was saying, there is a weird inconsistency. Because apparently, despite this card already being for the Elect State, they decided to turn on the Elect switch. And supposedly that would just give him an attack bonus from the Elect switch. So that's kind of weird. And made even weirder in that the Fire State card does not have the fire switch turned on, so it doesn't get an attack bonus from that. Instead, getting attack bonuses from chainsaw and drill switches. Now, personally, I would have had fire and Gatling there, but that's just me. It is kind of weird, but I guess this is kind of just included as a kind of a promotional starter set, or starter pack for Gone to Ride. Since while Gone to Ride started out as 2 versus 2, it's now 3 versus 3. So it makes sense to put 3 cards in a pack. Though I don't know if you can have more than one version of the same rider on a team in Gone to Ride. So I don't know if you actually use these 3 at once, or if it's a little bit pointless to put 3 of the same rider, just different forms, into one pack. This is a first release bonus, so this isn't its early kind of release. It was just released at just about the end of last month, so this hasn't been around for too long. There's a chance that you can still get it. But supposedly, after enough of them are sold, you won't find any with with that pack of cards there. So there is that. But that is just a little bonus thing that doesn't really have much to do with the toy itself. So as for the toy, what I think it is definitely a nice, fun toy. Definitely very unique, quite different from the Forza Driver. It doesn't do nearly as much, but it is still fun in its own right. It's nice how it kind of makes up for its lack of sounds by giving unique limit break sounds to the Elect and fire switches. And it has a special attack sound for every other circle switch. So at least, while only 3 switches do specific things, no matter what circle switch you put in there, it will do something. It also is very nicely designed. It's nice to, once again, see Chrome on the Kamen Rider toy. You know, Chrome is just getting really hard to find on Kamen Rider toys these days, so it's always nice to see one that has it. The gimmick is really fun. They do make good use of that spinning with the different color of light. With the different color of lights, it has a very nice effect to it. It's very bright, very flashy, quite entertaining. So as far as this goes, definitely recommended to fans of Forza and people who are specifically fans of Meteor. And if you're just going to buy this and you don't have the Meteor Driver and don't plan to get it, I would suggest getting a Candy Toy or Gashapon versions of Elec and Fire, as well as one other Switch. It could be any Switch besides those two. And, you know, for those of you who don't want to get this belt, in the near future, the Meteor Switch will be available in Candy Toy and Gashapon versions, so there's also that. But definitely a fun toy, and it's definitely recommended. So, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share my channel for more videos. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.